Well, thank you for joining me once again on a It's Time to Tumble video. We got the tumble ready. We haven't done anything since the first batch finished up, so this is actually kind of a viewer tumble because I'm using some rocks that I got. The ones right here on this side are from Carolina Gold Girl, and this is a kind of a conglomerate piece. I've dropped it on the ground and it didn't shatter, so we'll try it. That's what Jim and Jeff told me. He said drop it, and if it doesn't break, then you can try it. And then some quartzy looking pieces there, and some other oddity looking stuff. So that's what we have from her. And then on this one in the middle is stuff that I got from Tomcat, and he sent me a nice box. We did the mail on it with the big crystals, and this is a piece I kind of broke out of the edge. I kind of chipped off some of it to see. I know this stuff is going to flake away, but I'm interested to see if it's going to, um, preserve those red crystals that are in there. That are, I think this is from iron deposit. That's why this stuff is so red. But let me get a good like that one. You can see there coming out of that side of it. So that's cool. And then we got some pieces of that's a broken piece of the quartz, and then some clear round spheres. This is one of those dark ones. Again, Jim and Jeff told me this stuff will turn to dark like that from clear to dark because of exposure to radiation. I guess he's talking solar radiation back in the time. But and then this piece that I thought was copper ore, and it is damn. Oh, I can't remember. I'll post the name for it. But Tom had sent me the thing of what this actually was, this material. So we're gonna put it in there and see if it tumbles. I've got a couple of pieces of that, so we're gonna try on one, and then we're just gonna throw in some. I just crushed some oyster shell, and then over here in the back is some rocks that I just had from my Lynch mining bags that have some cool structures in them. I don't know if that's fossilization, remnants in there, or if that's a chemical reaction, like crystals that form in it. But it does have almost like an organic kind of look to it. That's pressed into it, like it may be some kind of plant matter or something that was compressed in the rock. But it'll be interesting to see how they come out. So I'm going to weigh it up and see how much weight we can put in here. I mean, how much of these we can put in for the weight. And anything we don't use, we'll save for the next round. All right, well, let's get this weighed in. And stuff is called Amazonite. Amazonite. So we'll put in, see how much we can get in for our 1 pound. We're only up to 8 ounces, a half a pound right there. Like I said, I expect this stuff to dissolve away as we go. Let's go ahead and put it. I'm not sure how the oyster shells will hold up. It's 13 ounces. And let's put in make sure we get some of our cool Lynch. I thought it'd be neat to see what might come out of a pay dirt bag of just the rock, the filler rock in it. Might be interesting to see. Is that too much? That big piece there? I don't know. That's a big chunk. I don't think that. What is that, calcium carbonate that makes up shells? I don't think it's that hard to. It's going to survive the same thing as these granite-looking type pieces, but I think we'll leave the big chunk out. We'll put in a big chunk of that granite, little speckled stuff instead. So that puts us at 1 pound, 1 ounce. Maybe that's 1 pound without that rock. And then we'll have to still put in some of our filler material. So we'll throw in these other little oyster chips. But we got all of our rocks from our 2 viewers, Carolina Gold Girl and Mr. Tomcat Prospecting. So 1 pound there. And then we will throw in some of our media. This is, oh, well, wait a second. That's new stuff. I was going to reuse our previous, since it is reusable, and it doesn't really have, it's got maybe the edges look a little bit not quite as sharp as the new ones. You can see it looks like it might be they're a little more rounded as opposed to these being still a sharp edge on them, but very little wear to run through for 4 weeks. So that's really pretty cool that you can rinse this stuff down good and reuse it. So, and we're about 2/3 full there. All right, let me grab some water. And just for good measure, I decided we're going to throw in, that is a peat. You can see it looks pretty green there, and that's an emerald that I got from John R. Prospecting. And then this is some of the neon blue apatite that I just got in, which, if you remember from what we got in John's bag, this is a much deeper blue than the kind of the little more transparent. So we're going to see how that polishes up, just to have some color in there. And all right. So we've got our coarse, let's zoom out there. We got our coarse grit, and we are going to use a couple of generous scoops in that because it did wear out very quickly on that last round, because this tumbler moves so fast. If you recall, it was a slurry in 3 days. So no grit left to it. So we want to make sure that that's got a good amount in there to get it going. And now, this time I want to make sure that I have the water just above the material like that. Other than that one rock kind of sticking out there a little bit, everything else is down below level. Splash a little bit more in there for good measure. All right, let me see here. Have a clean, wipe this down with. You always want to make sure that you make your edges are very clean along your seam, your seal there, because that's what keeps it from leaking. I never had any drop of anything coming out of it with the first batch, which was very cool. You say you want to make sure that lid is seated down even all the way around it, so that when it's on the tumbler, it'll, like, see that edge, it's closer in on this side than it is on this side. So now that looks pretty even all the way around there. And then you want to crank this thing down on it good and tight. And we are ready to roll. And I have one last rescue from last year that, this was before the hurricane, but this is my little guy Chomper. I rescued him from Lowe's. Actually, and then there's a second one right here. That's his little buddy that I rescued again from another for $1 that was, they thought was dead, but it's just coming out of it's been died down and dormant for winter time. It's native only to South Carolina and North Carolina, and it is endangered. On the endangered list, or about to be on it. It's not allowed to be harvested in the wild. All these have to be done with clones or with, grown grown domestically, but yeah, you can see when they got the little hairs inside the jaws, and when an insect gets in there, and they feel it moving around, it clamps down, and there's no getting out. And the more it struggles, the tighter it gets. So you don't want to do that too often on them, just because the heads only have a 2 or 3 closing lifespan. But these plants really don't even need to get insects. They get most of their nutrients out of what little bit of soil that you don't ever want to. These are like the teenage girl of the plant world. You can't water them with anything but rainwater or distilled water, because they can't take any kind of minerals, no fertilizer whatsoever, and you need to have them standing in water in the bottom of the pan so that the ground always stays moist. But you can see all those little shoots have started popping up out of there, and it'll grow. This thing's gonna. It went, like I said, it looked like this stuff right here, where it was just down, like flat in the pot on the ground, and now it's already, pushing a couple of 3 inches going up, and it'll be 6 or 8 inches before summertime's over. So, pretty cool. I really like these. They're a neat plant to have. So yeah, that's my last rescue, old Chomper. Okay, let's get to the machine. We have to interrupt this rock tumbling video for a second, because the neighbor was over there while I was out there getting my rocks together. I could hear them. They've been boiling over there all day. These are fresh out of his pot. Nice. Some nice big crawfish on this one. So you squeeze that tail together from the top like that, and then you take it at the back side and pinch the bottom, and you pull that meat right out like that. There's the dirt line in it that you want to clean out. And man, that's some tender and very spicy. Doing some corn, potatoes, and sausage. Delicious. So yeah, I'm gonna go have me some crawfish. I'm gonna make up a batch of my dipping sauce, and that's it. So man, the joys of South Louisiana and good neighbors. It's time to crank old Betsy up again. Old Bessie. She hadn't run down in a while, so hopefully it will do as good as it did. Erwin, get away from there. Get back. Get back. We'll set it for 7 days on our initial first tumble, and kick it on. And we'll have to level it. Usually I still got the leveling stuff set up over here. But yeah, you see it creeped right over there right away. So you got to kind of fine tune these for depending on how unlevel your house is, or the surface that you've got it on, or what have you. And last time, if you recall, I had it sitting on the pad, and I took it off because I wanted to make sure air was getting under it well. And when I did that, it creeped to the point where it almost fell off the desk with the vibration. So now it sits on the pad, but I've got it set far enough ahead that the little vents are still cleared in the back, so it can take in air and not risk. It never got hot, even running for the longest times, 6 and 7 days. It did not overheat. So you can hear it's real quiet. So just an excellent machine. I recommend it highly so far for the job it's done for me. Because a lot of these, you see reviews on them saying the thing, it didn't make it through the first session. It didn't make it through the first rock tumble, halfway through. And Erwin, get away from there, go. So, but we're still creeping over there. So at any rate, though, it's like I said, there's some fine tuning to these, because you just, like I said, I just don't want it wearing down the grommets that keep it lined up, because it's off, excessively wearing on the roller then, or something wear out. So you see it just keeps creeping back on there. All right, that's looking better. So all right, well, we will like I said, we've got it set for our 7 days. Now it's pushing to this side. So I'm going to end up fine-tuning this for a while. But all right, well, we'll be back to see how it looks on down the line. We're not going to do a series on covering every turnover on this, but this is the beginning of it, and we might do a quick shot somewhere in between before the end. But so, unless you, like I said, unless y'all want to actually, really want to see it, then just leave a message, leave a comment saying, yeah, let's see every stage again. So, all right, my friends, till the next time, peace out and happy gold panning and rock tumbling, whatever you may enjoy.